G'day, you join me on another adventure. I've been really busy with work recently, so I thought it's about time for some R&R with my family. I've got my wife and 2 kids in the back of the Scorpio, and 2 new faces to the channel, my good friends Marcus and Jess. So this trip, 2,500 kilometers out to Longreach and back again. We've just been predicted a heat wave, which is going to throw some curveballs in there. Estimated 40 degrees during the day, which at the moment in Brisbane is 27. Why Longreach? Well, Marcus is an air traffic controller, so he would really like to check out the Qantas Museum, which has got a lot of history for aviation in Australia. And my 2 kids in the back absolutely love dinosaurs. And close by to Longreach is the Winton Dinosaur exhibition, which is where they dig up a lot of dinosaur bones. So a lot of cool things to check out in Longreach, as well as plenty along the way. So we're going to break this trip down into 3 days to get to Longreach. The first day is Brisbane to Miles. Second day is Miles to Charleville, which is where the earth starts to turn red and really will start to get hot. And the third day finally is heading up north up to Longreach, which is where we'll spend 3 days. So let's leave city life behind, get these kilometers done and head out west. First stop off is a little town called Oakey for a pie and coffee. Okay, so we've just finished our pie and coffee in the town of Oakey, and we've been told that while we're here, we have to check out the Australian Flying Museum, which so far it's an active base and they've already had a whole bunch of helicopters flying around, so I'm sure there's a lot inside. We'll go check it out. What have we got here, Marcus?
So this propeller commemorates the handover of the Oakey Aerodrome to the Department of Defence. So originally it was built in 1942, World War II.
Yeah.
At the end of the war, in 46, it was handed to the Department of Civil Aviation.
Mm.
And in 1969, Department of Civil Aviation handed it back to Defence.
Oh, wow.
It's an Army training zone.
There you go. Let's go see what we can find inside then, eh? Wow, okay, that was amazing. We didn't realise that it was going to have so much stuff inside. I would highly recommend visiting if you're in Oakey. It's probably only 5 minutes out of town, but definitely a lot to experience, and we got to see that Chinook helicopter up close, which I've never seen in person, and it actually fit Marcus and I height-wise. So we've got a couple of badges. I'm just going to look at the airfield, jump in the car and head on our way to Miles. That was some pretty fascinating stuff in there at that flying museum, but now we've got, what, 190 kilometres until Miles. We've just filled our tummies, so maybe see something. We've still got another 1-2 hours to go, see what else we can find along the way.
Yeah, that's it. So I think we've got the town of Dalby coming up about halfway. See if there's something there to afternoon tea.
The countryside is definitely starting to open up now. It looks like a lot more farmland and cattle country, but I think the temperature is starting to warm up a little bit out there, 30 degrees.
Yeah, it's warming up a bit. I mean, we're probably a little bit lucky. We haven't got too far west yet, so it's still a little bit of greenery around. It's going to get drier as we go.
Wonderful. All right, we'll keep hitting those Ks down, eh? Okay, so we've made our way now to Chinchilla, and it would be said that it's un-Australian not to stop at any of the big items on the list on the map, which we are now at the big slice of watermelon. Of course, we're gonna have to get a photo in front of it, but Jess, you tell me, do you have a fun fact about Chinchilla?
I do have a fun fact. They once produced 25% of Australia's rock melon, honeydew melon and watermelon, which makes them the unofficial melon capital of Australia.
There you go. That is a fun fact. Let's get this photo and then we can make our way finally to Miles. Well, there we go. At the end of day one, we've made our way 2 miles, 386 kilometers, I think. So we're going to settle in for the night, have some dinner and get ready for day 2. Well, good morning. You join us at the Miles Historical Village. We're just going to check this out before we start going for the day. We need some coffee, of course, and some breakfast, but then we're on our way to Roma and then off to finally Charleville in the afternoon. So we'll go check out what's inside and see what's on offer. Well, this is pretty amazing. I hear, however, that Jess, it's now Fun Facts with Jess.
Fun facts with Jess.
What has been the fun fact of this historical village?
Well, this whole place is home to 34 buildings, which 15 are genuine original structures which have been around forever, and 10 replicas. 9 were purpose-built just for this property, and the whole place is run by volunteers.
There you go. Another fun fact with Jess.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. Pretty good example of a slab hut. I would have a problem, but with the amount of gaps in the walls, I think it might get chilly at night time and quite breezy. All right, this is pretty interesting. This is the bank, and it's got a lot of coins on show, and I'm sure there's some worth a lot of money. Let's go check it out. Wow, that Miles Historic Village actually had a lot more in there than we thought it would. So we spent a fair bit of time there, but we had to cut it short, unfortunately, due to the fact that we've got 140 kilometers to Roma by lunchtime, and then we're going to continue on to Charleville after that. So Erin's jumped in the driver's seat so I can capture some stuff. I'm sure we're going to see something interesting along the way. But once we hit Roma, Marcus wants to check out the airport for something work-related, and the rest of us want to see the Royal Flying Doctor Service, which is always interesting, and they have one of their bases at Roma. So we'll get these kilometres done, and we'll see you there. Okay, Marcus, so we've come all the way out to Roma to see this beacon. And tell me, why did you want to see it?
Why did I want to see it?
Yeah. What have you got going on in the office?
Okay, so as a systems supervisor, my role is to release things like this for maintenance. So it was just interesting to come out and see one of the sites that we actually look after.
So what are we seeing here? What's the significance of this thing? What does it do?
Okay, so there's a couple of things going on. First of all, the 2 towers, and between them are these 3 wires. So those are just a non-directional beacon. Essentially, it's a radio beacon that aircraft can track towards. So the other thing going on is this tower on the left-hand side. You can see at the top 8 oval-shaped antennas.
Yeah.
It'll be our VHF radio, I believe, for talking to aircraft. We'll have a high and a low frequency out here. Low for talking to aircraft below flight level 285, turboprops, flying doctors, all that sort of stuff. And then a high level frequency, which will be for talking to the jets overflying to Middle East and Asia and all those other places. And then the 2 antennas, straight ones sticking up on the sides, I'm pretty sure that's our ADSB. So that's how we track the aircraft, and we can actually visually see them. Or basically that's the data that's fed into flight radar, if that's something you're familiar with.
Huh. Well, there you go. Well, we've seen it. I mean, this one's at an airport. Are they all in airports?
Not all of them. Most NDBs will be at an airport, and not every NDB will have VHF radio and ADSB attached to it. It's just a whole bunch of stuff here at Roma because it's a reasonable sized site for us. But our VHF and ADSB, sometimes it's in the middle of a paddock in the middle of nowhere.
There you go. Well, we'll get a photo with it, and then we'll head off to the Royal Doctors Flying Service Australia base, wherever that is.
I think it's just over there.
Oh, okay, that's easy. Okay, so I thought I'd explain the significance behind the Royal Flying Doctor Service. For Jess in particular, she's been raising funds for them as it's an important service out here in the rural environments. It helps farmers and people who live in these remote places get to hospitals in a really rapid sort of amount of time. So while we're out in rural Queensland, we thought we'd stop in, see what they've got on offer out here, and we're about to see one land now. All right, so that's Roma done. We've completed the Royal Flying Doctor Service. Marcus got to see his beacon tower, get a good photo with it. And then we ended up seeing the big rig, which is an oil and gas rig for the Roma town. So off to Charleville, says here 266 kilometres or 2 hours and 50 minutes. So we'll hit the road and see you there. Okay, so we've just pulled over because a pretty good experience. No one's really seen wild emus before, but over in the field over there is a whole bunch of emus, which you probably can't see, but I'll send the drone over and insert some shots now. So there we go, we've made it into Charleville. 420 kilometres achieved today. It's still quite warm here, I think 34 degrees. So the plan is, now that we're checked in, we're going to see if the Cosmos Centre is still open because they've got stargazing, which would be an awesome thing to experience while we're in town. Otherwise, we'll have some dinner and then we'll see you in the morning. Okay, we've got some unfortunate news. Unfortunately, the Cosmos Experience is closed on Saturdays, which is today, but Marcus has found another one of his towers, his nav towers. What are they called again?
Yes, I have. So at the back, the two towers.
Yes.
With the wires between them, that's their NDB.
Yep.
We've got our radio tower here in the foreground with our VHF and ADS-B antennas and our satellite dish to get the information back to Brisbane South. There
we go. So it was worth coming down this far, even though the Cosmos Centre wasn't open. We got to find another one at the Charleville Airport. Anyway, I may as well set up a time lapse later tonight and I'll show you some stars. Well, good morning. Welcome to day 3 of our epic travel across Queensland to Longreach. We're still in Charleville and we've got a couple of things to do this morning, including hopefully the Bilby Experience, which we're not sure if they're open on a Sunday. But this morning we've found out that they're launching a weather balloon at 9:15, so we thought why not come down and check it out. We're just sitting in the front here at the moment waiting for it. About 15 minutes away, but for the moment I'll cut to Connor, my son, who's going to explain what a weather balloon does.
A weather balloon is like a big balloon that floats high up in the sky to help us learn about the weather. It carries special tools that measure things like temperature, wind, and how much moisture is in the air. Scientists send these balloons up to get information from places we can't easily reach, like up in the clouds. This helps them make better weather forecasts.
Here it goes. With luck on our side, the Charleville Bilby Experience was open, and it was great to see what they're doing towards protecting one of Australia's endangered species, with projects like the breeding program and the Bilby fence keeping cats, foxes, and even rabbits that pose a huge threat out of their habitat. The family really loves seeing these cute little creatures run around their enclosure while learning about how we can support the preservation of our wildlife and habitats. It's not just a visit, it's an experience that helps a fantastic cause. Leaving Charleville behind, we headed north into central Queensland towards Longreach, with a massive 515 kilometres to cover. With its sparse open plains and towns few and far between, It really does inspire something in you to see this part of the country. Well, what a monster day. We did 530 kilometers, so we're just getting in now pretty late. 10 minutes to 7, which means we've actually got quite a nice little sunset. Swing you around and have a look-see. Look at that, the sunsets in the bush are amazing. But we're staying somewhere pretty special. This is the Saltbush Retreat. Marcus and Jess have parked over here as they're in a different section. It's like a cabin, I think, but we are down here in these stables. We've got a pretty special place for us to sleep tonight. I'll just show you through. Stable number 4. And how premium does that look? This is where we'll be tonight and actually for the next 3 days. So we'll settle in for the night after our big drive today from Charleville, have some dinner, and I'll see you in the morning for the next 3 days in Longreach. Good morning, welcome to day 1 of Longreach. We finally made it. Exciting news this morning for Marcus in particular. We're going to the Qantas Museum. Marcus, what are we looking forward to there?
Well, what aren't we looking forward to? We've got Boeing 707, we've got the 747, including the wing walk.
Wing walk, that sounds like fun.
Oh, yeah, I know. Very excited for that.
And probably plenty of other information in the hangars.
Absolute stack of it.
Yeah, so we're just going to walk over there now. It's only a 5-minute walk, get something to eat, and then see what they got to offer. I think it's what, the 3-hour experience?
Yes, we booked on the tour, so they're going to fill us in on all the important info.
Wonderful, let's do it.
Fly so high, so high, and I won't let this moment pass us by.
All right, so we've made our way into the first part of the museum, which is where there's some good examples of some older planes as well as some engines. And for my international viewers, Qantas actually stands for, luckily on the back of this aeroplane, Queensland and Northern Territory Aerial Services, which the guy just explained to us on the tour that it was born in Cloncurry down the road, then registered in Winton, and then raised here in Longreach. So in 1922, they started making the first 6 aeroplanes here, and we'll now go on our way through to the next hangar, which is where they did all. So this hangar started out life as a steel frame with a roof and dirt floor. Of course, in the outback, the heat and dust wasn't ideal for creating planes. So in 1923, they added walls, and then in 1924, this original concrete floor was added, making it over 100 years old today. Next, we checked out the awesome collection of retired planes up close. Some taking lots of hard work to get airworthy and over here.
Won't let this moment pass us by. Won't let this moment pass us.
Fun facts with Jess with our special guest Marcus at the Qantas Museum.
Right, what can I tell you? Well, we've just been through a flight deck tour of the Boeing 747. Fun fact, we're talking about the 767. So the 757, 767 were a 2-crew flight deck, so no flight engineer. But I believe that Ansett, Australia, whose pilot union was very strong, had specially built 767 still with a flight engineer position in them.
They didn't believe that they didn't need them.
No, I think the union didn't want to let pilot engineers lose their jobs.
Right. Well, there you go. Fun fact with Marcus.
Fun fact with Marcus.
Go do a wing walk.
Okay.
And I won't let this moment pass us by. Pass us by.
Okay, what an awesome time we had at the Qantas Founders Museum. We really did learn a lot about Australia's aviation history. The kids learned a lot. Marcus had a ball, obviously being part of the aviation industry in Australia. But I really would recommend, if you're going to come out this way, to check it out. We used up pretty much half of the day exploring all the exhibits, doing the wing walk, it really was a lot of fun. So it's now hit 40 degrees outside, so it's pretty hot. We're going to jump back across the road to the Saltbush Retreat, which is where we're staying, jump in the pool, and I'll see you tomorrow. Well, here we go. Day 2 of Longreach, day 5 of our trip. We're just out the front of the Qantas Co Experience. Marcus and Jess have organised that this morning. Qantas Co, for those who don't know, is the wagons that used to transport mail, and it was how people got around with their horses back in the day. So it's a bit of an outback experience along dirt roads. We get to experience what it would be like to do a mail run. So a bit of fun, and then this afternoon we're off to the river cruise, which Longreach has a big river apparently. So it'd be good to get on one of those old steam boats, I think it is, a paddle boat, and check it out. So we'll jump inside, get our tickets, and we'll head out on this experience. Once we jumped on the dirt road, it was awesome experiencing what it was like to travel back in the 1800s. After a pleasant pace, the coachman cracked the whip and we were shown the horse's true top speed. Unfortunately for us in the back, the true experience was actually a heavy coating of dust. Apparently doctors and lawyers even paid more to sit up here, even in the harsh sun. Bit dusty, Connor. Once back at HQ, they explained the real history of the Australian sheepdog, which was fascinating. Later that afternoon, we jumped on a bus and headed 10 minutes down the road to the next experience. Well, here we go. We're on a spectacular scenic boat cruise with Starlight Experiences or Ventures going down the Thomson River. It really is going to be amazing. It's 30-minute river crossing all the way to one point. I guess they turn around and then we get to see the sunset on the way back. Once we get back to their camp, they've got a 2-course meal around the campfire, and then they've got their own little bit of entertainment, which we're not sure what it's going to be, but sounds like a bit of a fun night ahead of us. So we'll experience this beautiful scenery on the Thomson River and then have some yummy food. Once we returned to camp, we were shown how stockmen travelled through the outback with their trusty horse by their side. We were then treated to a traditional bush dinner around the campfire. To finish the night off, we got fresh damper baked by the coals, slathered in golden syrup, and, of course, a billy tea brewed on the fire. Well, good morning. We have some unfortunate news. We're on our way out of Longreach, but it is actually for a really good reason. We're on our way to Age of the Dinosaurs, which I've got some very excited kids back there. We really did have an awesome time in Longreach. There's heaps of history, lots of activities to do. I really do recommend you come check it out if you live in Australia or visiting Australia. So we've got a 2-hour drive now, or almost 2-hour drive to Age of the Dinosaurs. We're going to settle into the ride, enjoy this beautiful scenery at this time of the day, and we'll see you probably with some dinosaur bones. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Time to see some dinosaurs. So what we ended up doing is paying for a tour, so we get to experience the dinosaur walk on the edge of this beautiful view here. We're on our way now to the footprints exhibit, and then working our way finally off to the collection museum, and also where they're actually processing rock and pulling out bones out of what they find in the ground. So we'll have a look at this footprint section, make our way then over to those exhibits, and see what they've got on offer here in Winton.
Making our way through the Dinosaur Canyon, we got to see what dinosaurs roamed this part of the earth. We got to see the spectacular view, and the kids even got to do some fun activities along the way. Once we'd finished that section, we moved on to the march of the Titanosaurus.
Well, that was pretty interesting. What's it called, Spencer?
Titanosaur.
Titanosaurus footprint exhibition. I actually had to pick that thing up from quite a while away, somewhere here in Winton in a creek bed, because they were worried about, after a big flood, it washing away. So mammoth effort getting it down or up here and putting it into a building to protect it. So good that we're able to witness all of that. Hey Spencer, I hear you have a fun fact about a dinosaur that's been discovered near here.
Okay, so if you don't know, this is the Mahindra. It is a hadrosaur, meaning it eats plants and it can walk on 4 legs and 2 legs. Mahindra could run really fast and was a big meal for the Australian nearby, which is the apex predator of the Mahindra. The Mahindra is named after a place in Queensland, Australia.
Yeah, which I hear is 150 or 200 kilometers away from here, so not that far.
The Mahindra would roam near flat plains. The reason is it may be out in the open and easy to spot, but it would have lots of places to run.
There you go. That's a good fact. Thank you, Spencer. Okay, we've made our way. Next step on the tour is a fossil preparation room or laboratory, which is where they're pulling apart or removing bones from rock. We're just about to start our tour, and we'll see what they do in this amazing facility. So, fun fact we just learned, what we see behind us, plus a couple of shipping containers outside, are the ones that they've collected, and if they were to not find any more, there'd be 10 years worth of processing to get through all of these, plus what's outside.
It really was fascinating witnessing these people unearthing history. I truly do believe these memories will last with our kids forever.
Well, there we go. That's the end of our little family trip out to the outback, 1,600 kilometres from Brisbane to Longreach. We sure did experience a lot. We had a really good time. The country folk out here are so friendly and supportive. I would highly recommend going out and checking the outback. So much history to learn about and so many things to do as well. Plus all this stunning scenery, as much as it's been hot, because October is not traditionally this hot, but we just got a week of really hot weather. So we're going to head north and actually turn the cameras off here, have a bit more of a family trip on the way out to Airlie Beach and then back down to Brisbane. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you support the channel by subscribing, and thanks for watching. See you in the next one.